unless they're one of the lucky ones, most mamas-to-be will have dealt with nausea at one point or another in their pregnancy. Some might even be like a dear friend of mine who's had to deal with it way into her 3rd trimester for each of her pregnancies. Now, anti-nausea meds are one option, but they often have side effects like drowsiness, so it's no wonder that many mamas are looking for more natural options. That's why in this video, I share 8 natural remedies to help fight nausea during pregnancy or any time that you feel nauseous, really. This one probably comes as no surprise, since ginger is one of the most popular anti-nausea home remedies. The exact way in which it works is not fully understood, but scientists believe that it acts in a way similar to anti-nausea meds, and there's plenty of research backing its effectiveness during pregnancy. There's currently no consensus on the best dosage to use, but most studies that noticed the benefit gave participants between 0.5 and 1.5 grams of ginger root per day. You can add it to your meals or mix it into hot water to create a warm gingery tea. This one was a personal lifesaver during my 1st trimester with my little one. I would carry a little jar of peppermint essential oil with me at all times, and whenever I felt a bout of nausea come on, a couple of sniffs is all it took to make it go away. So I hope that peppermint's nausea-busting effects also work for you, and there's a good chance that they will, since there's many studies that confirm its effectiveness. In one, women who had nausea just after giving birth rated their nausea lower after smelling peppermint than after being given anti-nausea medications or a placebo. And in 2 other studies, peppermint aromatherapy was effective at reducing nausea in up to 57% of cases, and in some cases within as little as 2 minutes of sniffing the oil. Lemon is another aroma effective at reducing nausea, and slicing a fresh lemon or scratching its peel may work in a similar way since it helps release its essential oils into the air. Acupuncture and acupressure are 2 techniques often used in traditional Chinese medicine to help reduce both nausea and vomiting. They work by stimulating nerve fibers that send signals to the brain and spinal cord, which are thought to help reduce nausea. And as far-fetched as this may sound, there's actually some scientific evidence backing it up. 2 recent reviews report that acupuncture and acupressure reduce the chance of developing nausea after an operation by up to 75%. More studies need to be done on pregnant women, but there's at least some evidence that acupuncture is also effective at reducing nausea during pregnancy. Most of the studies report benefits from stimulating one precise acupuncture point called the Naguan point, or P6 point. You can stimulate this nerve on your own by placing your thumb about 2 finger widths down from your inner wrist between the 2 prominent tendons. Press down with your thumb for about 1 minute, and then repeat this whole procedure on your other wrist. Slow, deep breaths aren't only good for reducing stress, they may also help reduce nausea. And researchers found this out pretty accidentally. It happened during one study, during which researchers were trying to compare different aromatherapy treatments against nausea and had participants breathe them in a very controlled way. They noticed that all participants felt less nauseous, including those asked to smell the placebo aroma. So they figured that the controlled breathing pattern that they used in the study may have helped reduce nausea in and of itself. So they tested this theory in a second study, and lo and behold, it helped reduce nausea in 62% of cases. Here's a specific breathing pattern that they used in the study. You need to inhale through your nose to a count of 3, hold the breath to a count of 3, and then simply exhale to a count of 3. Relaxing your muscles may also help relieve nausea, and scientists tested 2 specific ways to do so. The first is called progressive muscle relaxation, and it requires you to tense and relax your muscles in a continuous sequence. I'll put a link to a guided session in the description box below in case you want to check it out. The second is the good old massage. Although the effects haven't been specifically studied during pregnancy, they may still be worth a shot. At the very least, it's a good excuse to ask your loved ones for a foot rub. Vitamin B6 is very often used as an alternative to or together with anti-nausea meds, and there are several studies that do show that it is quite effective at reducing nausea during pregnancy. Doses up to 200 milligrams per day are generally considered safe and have virtually no side effects. In addition to the alternative remedies I've just mentioned, there are a couple of tips that you might want to try to keep nausea at bay. First, try to avoid overly spicy or fatty foods, because blander foods tend to help reduce nausea and prevent an upset stomach. Next, make sure you add protein to your meals, since high protein meals tend to help keep nausea at bay better than meals high in carbs or in fat. Third, Try to avoid overly large meals. Some women do better with smaller, more frequent meals when it comes to reducing nausea. At the same time, try not to drink water with your meals because this sometimes increases feelings of fullness into the stomach, which can in itself cause nausea. However, do stay hydrated because dehydration does make nausea worse, and if you're vomiting, you need to replenish the fluids that you lost with electrolyte-rich fluids like flat mineral water or vegetable broth or a sport drink. You might want to avoid strong smells and try to stay upright after you eat, and this is especially helpful if you tend to get nausea or reflux within 30 to 60 minutes of a meal. Tip number 8 is to exercise, and aerobic exercise and yoga seem particularly effective at reducing nausea. And my last tip is to avoid iron supplements unless you really need them, because they do tend to make nausea worse in some cases. Now, if you're currently dealing with nausea, I feel for you, and I really hope that you find at least one tip here that will help reduce it. If you'd like to check out references to the claims I've made in this video, you can find them on the Veggies and More website. I'll put the link down below. And you can also join the Veggies and More newsletter if you'd like a direct access line to ask me your specific nutrition questions or simply receive more nutrition tips like the ones shared today. That's it for today. And with that said, until next time, ciao ciao!